Do you want to fix your posture permanently? Then keep watching. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Marius, Visser, a biokineticist who helps seniors stay strong, mobile and independent. Today we're tackling one of the biggest challenges for healthy aging. If you've noticed your shoulders rounding forward, your back slumping, you're not alone. Poor posture is extremely common in older adults and it can lead to pain, balance issues and even a higher risk of falls. But there's good news. By fixing just a few muscles, you can start improving your posture today. Let's go through the 3 crucial muscles to work on for better posture. Okay, so let's get into the 3 top exercises I chose for you today to actually help fix your posture in the long run. First one, we're going to need a trusty TheraBand. Depending on the color, you can choose any color you want. The lighter they are, the easier they are, the more darker, the more tension. But there are ways to work around that. First of all, we're going to find ourselves a chair and some place where we can hook our TheraBand around. Now, we're going to put this around there at round about, say, chest height. Now the idea for this is not to pull too hard. I don't want you to turn this into a bicep or an arm exercise. This is very specific for our posture. So in order to reverse what's happening in our shoulders are rolling forward and our spines are starting to curve. We've got a lot of tightness on the front of our chest and we've got a lot of weakness on the back between the shoulder blades called the rhomboids, middle trapezius, as well as some of the rotator cuff muscles that sits very deep inside the posterior aspect of the shoulder. So to reverse that forward hunched posture position using a TheraBand, now I'm lifting my chest up and I'm drawing my shoulder blades backwards like that. Now I can already feel the muscles between the shoulder blades and specifically that lower trapezius that sits right underneath at the bottom portion of the shoulder blade. Very important muscle for keeping your scapula depressed and down so that you don't have that rolling forward or rolling over of the scapula or even the winging of the scapula. I don't know if you've seen somebody point you from behind that your scapulas are actually pointing up. That is the lower trap that is actually starting to weaken and you might even feel some burning sensation there during your day sitting behind your computer or looking at your phone or whatever it is you're doing. You might be feeling some discomfort in that area. So to get into that, we are going to hold onto this TheraBand and from there we're going to lift the chest up, keeping the core engaged and drawing your shoulder blades down and back and getting that squeeze in between the shoulder blades. Now I want you to visualize that your shoulder blades, let's say your left shoulder blade is pointing and moving into the direction of your right back pocket. And then obviously for the right shoulder blade is going to move into the direction of the left back pocket. So I want you to think of it that way. And I'm also rolling my shoulders backwards. They're almost creating like a circular movement and not just a moving back movement. So they're actually circling down and back and coming forward. When you come forward, try not to let go of those shoulder blade muscles in the back, especially that lower trap. You want to keep the tension on them. Now, an important fact I want you to realize is your shoulders, as they move back, your chest moves forward, and you're almost extending your thoracic spine backwards. So now we're working on the curvature of that thoracic spine, that kyphosis that you've got. It's not only good enough to just pull like that, you need to combine both. You need to extend the thoracic spine, because only in the extension phase, your shoulder blades will start moving down and back into their proper position. Okay, you cannot get the shoulder blades to move back when your spine is curved forward. So the first thing you have to always do is lift the chest up, breathe out, keep it there. Then the shoulders will automatically roll back. Maybe not automatically for some of you, but it will be a lot easier for them to roll back when your spine is in a little bit of an extension stage. And you hold for a 2-second count and come back. So I'm not using my arms too much. It's literally only that much that you are pulling, because that is the space that your scapula needs to contract that lower trapezius in the back and even the rhomboids to close that little bit of space. So it's literally from there to there and come back. Now this is going to take a lot of practice because you want to connect your mind to that specific muscle in the back. out, hold for a few seconds, and come back. I can really feel those muscles down the middle on the inside of the shoulder blades really, really starting to burn. And let's go for one more. And relax. So that was the seated banded row. Let's move on to our next exercise. So for our next exercise, you're going to need a doorway, and this is called a doorway stretch or a doorway walkthrough, whichever one you want to prefer. I'm going to place one arm on the inside of the door frame and the other one on the other side of the door frame. I'm going to place one foot through the door, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift my weight from the back leg onto the front leg and breathe out. Now, very importantly, you want to keep your rib cage down. This is one area now where we don't want necessarily to arch the lower back too much. We want to try and keep our ribs and our belly buttons tight to keep everything in a neutral position as much as we can, because what this muscle we're going to be stretching now is called the pec major, which is a big muscle running on the front of your chest, and it attaches on the inside just underneath your arm there, and it is a major internal rotator of your shoulder. So when it's very tight, it's going to internally rotate your arms. But now the opposite is also true. When we externally rotate our shoulders or our arms in this position, the propensity for this muscle to actually want to lift up, because it is so tight, it's going to lift up your entire rib cage, and we don't want that to happen. So we want to keep your elbows and hands flush against the door frame, walk through, and try to keep your ribs as flat as you can, and you'll feel a major stretch across the chest and even the front of the shoulders. Come back, breathe in and breathe out, walk through, hold that position. I'm almost pushing off the back foot to keep myself into that door, and come back. And again, breathe out and hold. 5 seconds, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to do 5 times 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is really pulling. Another note is make sure that your arms are not too low. If they're there, you're going to feel a lot of strain on the shoulders. So they have to be at least, your elbow has to be at least shoulder height or slightly above shoulder height. Keep it a little bit above your shoulder so that the elbow is just above shoulder. That's going to put your pecs or the pectoralis major at a tensed position to get a good stretch. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and relax. And that is our doorway stretch. And for our last exercise, it's called a hip flexor stretch. So what we do is you find a bed. There are so many different ways to stretch your hip flexor, but a lot of them require you to actually kneel on the floor with your one knee or actually both knees, and then moving your hips forward and back. I know there's a lot of people out there that can't do that, especially with knee replacements or hip replacements or any other issues that you might have that'll stop you from getting on the floor. So I've chosen a very simple exercise for you to do to stretch out those hip flexors without involving any kneeling on the floor. And this is the lying hip flexor stretch. This is actually an assessment we use to actually test for tight hip flexors. But today we're going to use it as a stretch. So very simple. You sit on the edge of your bed and you grab either your knee on the outside if you can, or you grab your thigh on the inside way, linking in your fingers. So I'm going to do it this way to show you with my left leg hanging down the bed. It's very important that the leg hangs down. You don't want to be all the way back on the bed where the leg is straight, otherwise you're not going to feel a stretch. In fact, you want to be sitting slightly off so that just your glutes and maybe part of your hamstring is on the bed. Now from there, we're going to grab our knee. We're going to try and get it as close to our shoulders as possible. And then you're going to lean back and let the other leg just hang down, and we hold that position. So now your natural response will be to straighten this leg, but I don't want you to do it. I want you to relax this leg completely and just let it hang. And you should feel a stretch coming down this anterior portion. It's called the psoas, and one of the quad muscles that runs down the front of the leg, the rectus femoris. And we just hold that position. Take a deep breath in and breathe out and hold for last 10 and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can try to pull your heel closer towards the bed. That's going to increase the stretch, but you do not want to let it raise up. So you can just let the leg hang and then slowly push your heel towards the bed or the base or the table, whichever one you're leaning on, and come back and go again and come back. And you can actually feel a stretch coming down the front, and relax. And let's change legs. The other one, just let it hang down. Pull this one as close as you can and feel that stretch. And we also hold for 20 to 30 seconds on a side. Maybe move it in if you can. Hold the foot there. You can see that I'm actually touching the floor and I'm tucking my toe in. That actually increases the stretch because now somebody or something is holding my foot in place. 5, 4, 3, relax. And there we go, 3 exercises that you can do in the comfort of your home that's going to help fix your posture. If you like this video, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and share this video with somebody that you feel might benefit. And leave a comment down below and tell me how these exercises are working for you. See you next time.